Wellington's Nam D food business hasn't let the Omicron outbreak stop it from expanding into a fifth central city shop. The street food business was started by Nikki Chung about a decade ago, and she joins us in the studio. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
How's the business going?
Yeah, exciting times. We're trying to steer our way out of Omicron. It's been tough, but it's still exciting for us. We recently opened our first store in the Deloitte's building, so we're very excited about that.
It hasn't come without its challenges, though. Tell me a little bit more about the challenges to open the Deloitte building.
Yeah, absolutely, because it was actually 2 years in the works. I mean, it was a project that should have opened before COVID hit. But because of COVID, it's sort of dragged itself out to about a 2-year project that we've just managed to get across the line and opened about 3 weeks ago.
And in terms of that, the investment you put into that new business, it's come right out of your own pocket.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, it was saved and put aside, ready for this project, but of course with Omicron hitting, we've had to sort of dip into our savings of Deloitte's project there, but we're steering our way out of it and coming right now, so it's good.
So number 5 is open. How are sales?
Probably, to be honest, not quite met expectations, but I think it's still early days, and I think that people are still slowly coming back to Wellington. So, but I think the signs are good. Every week we're slightly increasing, so that's a good sign.
So in terms of the business, you've been going nearly a decade with Nam D food restaurants and your street shops. How have Wellingtonians embraced your business?
Oh, very positive. I mean, I've been doing this for, like you said, just over a decade, and the feedback has been amazing. People are really open to new ethnic offerings, but also Vietnam has become quite a popular travel destination, so it's opened everyone's eyes to Vietnamese cuisine, and Vietnamese cuisine around the world has really taken off as well. It's seen as it's a healthy, delicious, creative alternative to Chinese food, I suppose, from what everyone's known for so long.
And this is the core products you've got in front of you now.
Yes.
These are the products that you've had from the very start. And tell me a little bit about those and how the range has expanded over the years.
Well, we started out with I've always been very passionate about Vietnamese street food. When I go back to Vietnam, it's something that I always make sure that I check out first. And my favourite is the banh mi, which is a French baguette filled with lots of delicious pickles and coriander and spring onions and then your choice of meat. So that is what I wanted to recreate in Wellington, was a little side stall offering freshly made banh mi on the spot. And that really has been the incremental part of the business. But over the years, I've created some noodle salads, which is also very well known in Vietnam. Simple, delicious protein on top of noodle base with pickles and a delicious traditional fish sauce.
Where do you get your inspiration from? I understand you came here in 1980 with your family, and you took a lot of inspiration from your mum?
Oh, absolutely. That's where it all started, because I helped my mum a lot in the kitchen, and creating Vietnamese food was absolutely very difficult back in the 80s. We were very limited on Asian ingredients, so my mum had to recreate all these traditional Vietnamese dishes from scratch with just whatever she could find. So that's really where my inspiration came from, and learning from my mum and doing little side food events. And so it was always sort of instilled in me, and quite young, that it was something that I always wanted to share with the public.
Do you think you still have a unique offering here in Wellington?
I think I do, because I'm always about innovation, being creative, and always trying to travel overseas, back to Vietnam as often as I can to get new inspiration. So I'm always about fresh ideas. Don't ever want to get complacent, and I think that's what keeps me ahead of everyone else. There is a lot more Vietnamese offerings opening up, but I think we still stay true to what we do and very traditional to what we do.
You've described the last 6 months as some of the most difficult in about 13 years of doing business. What's next for you? Are you going to stick with the status quo, or are you hoping to grow?
Uh, I always say that after one finished project, I'll never do another one again. But I think over the years, and those who know me, is I never say never. I think I've created a model that is certainly expandable nationwide, I still believe that there's opportunities in Wellington. But yeah, we'll see what the future holds going forward. But I think I've created a pretty good model that we could take it anywhere.
So you've mentioned that you are in the early stages of looking for a new investor?
I think we are at a point where I certainly would be open to a new investor if we were to take the business to that next level, but also not just financially, but a new skill set to complement what I bring to the table, but also fresh new ideas, also maybe a different management style to help us grow, yeah.
That would require capital?
Yes, absolutely.
How much?
Well, I guess it really depends on what the future projects will be, but it certainly has been tough dipping into my own pockets for all these years, so yes.
Mm. And where do you see the business in 5 years nationwide?
That would be absolutely exciting, yes. If we could take it nationwide over the next 5 years, then that would be very exciting, yes.
Nikki Chung, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.